Hello and welcome, people. My name is Mattski.
My name is Jolly.
And this is the Gigglefix podcast.
Hooray!
Hooray! How marvellous. And I'm getting beer. That's completely unlike the Gigglefix podcast. That's never happened before on this at all. We have a special guest on the Gigglefix podcast today, and it is the one and only, my mate, Daniel Lill. Everybody go hooray.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you.
For doing this.
I don't know why, but I joined in on that hooray.
You didn't actually have a choice before.
I
We
think
locked him in the building.
And I was part of everybody, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was entirely what we were anticipating. So, yes, welcome. This is the first time we have done a podcast in... well, not only that, but in about 1 million years. It's kind of weird. I've forgotten how to do this. I've just spent 2 years doing online readings, and now we've got back to having a guest, a live human being.
Was it been 2 years since you last did an episode?
It's been at least 2 years since we've done
Really?
done a proper episode of the
Wow.
Gigglefix podcast. Yeah.
That's being tested now, Daniel. So
Yes. So there's no pressure.
Oh, there must be a reason you stopped.
There was this thing called COVID that kind of interrupted us being able to get guests into a studio environment and sit down with them, and people didn't have setups for recordings. Well, actually, no. As you were saying earlier when we were chatting about this, probably everybody's doing a podcast now, so probably everybody's got the facility to do it now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, welcome, Daniel Lill. Daniel Lill is a comedian. He is a advertising whiz, and he's Danish. Don't hold that against him.
we won't hold that again.
I'm glad. That was the only thing I was worried about.
Exactly. But we have actually been served up some alcohol by Jolly whilst I've been blethering. So skål.
Skål.
As we say around these
Thanks
parts.
for having
Thank
me.
you. Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome. Skål. Skål. Clinky clinky.
Skål over there, Matt.
Skål over there on the other side.
I love how Jolly poured you and me a Foster's, and he's like, "Oh, that's out. I'm gonna bring out a Tuborg." So he's drinking a Tuborg himself.
So what, is he serious? Is it Foster's that he's giving us? I didn't see what it was he was throwing at.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever tried this, but I like it.
It's Australian for lager, apparently.
I got it in England. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, you do own Australia, right?
Yes, we do. Unofficially.
Yeah.
For your Australian listeners.
Yes. Yes, all of my Australian listeners are now tuning out.
Exactly. You guys take care of yourself until the Queen comes. Then she's in charge.
I'm trying to think who it was. I think it was a British comedian called Jasper Carrott who opened up. He was playing a gig in Melbourne or something, and he was doing a tour of Australia. And he realised that some jokes don't go over well in Australia. One of which, when he sort of stood there, walked out onto stage, he said, "Hello, Melbourne. It's absolutely fantastic to be playing Her Majesty's largest open-air prison."
That's a good joke.
Stony silence, apart from the English people in the audience who were falling about laughing, of course. Yeah, I think it's a great joke.
That's a decent joke.
It's a very good joke. So, Jolly, you have some questions for Mr. Lill.
I've been doing a little bit of Googling, Daniel, and obviously I'm very interested in what you do and try and trick your brains. So
I'm also interested in what you guys do.
Well, not really.
Okay, fair enough.
Whatever the hell we can get away with, really.
I'm actually a little bit nervous. I've never actually interviewed a comedian before. So please be gentle with us, Daniel. Please.
Yeah, it's all good.
He treats me roughly in the office.
Well,
so
basically,
it's-
what comedy is just, it's just like trying out stuff and then editing it. It's like telling, you know that you have that funny uncle who's actually funny.
Yes.
Even though he tells the same stories. That's what I do for a living. I just try out the stories for years and years and years and years and change girlfriends, and thereby change families. And now I've come
Until you
to
find a family that finds you funny.
Yeah, exactly. And that's called an audience.
That's one of my questions, Mattski.
Oh, sorry. Go on. How many wines have you
listen to
had?
the vocal cords before I start the first question?
Why don't we?
Skål again. Oh, okay.
Another one.
It's going to be. We have done Gigglefixes in the past, which basically involved vast amounts of drinking. I think I explained to you about the one we did with the three that we ended up doing with Johan, where we just got leathered in the end.
He was spilling champagne all
It's
over
quite
my
amusing.
couch, and it wasn't very good, was it, Matt? With the champagne that he was opening.
Well, I mean, the stuff that we supplied was plonk, but the stuff that he supplied was good.
That's good.
Yeah.
What a guest.
Yeah,
Can I just start by saying I'm sorry I didn't bring champagne? That's true.
well, we're not stupid. I mean, usually we go with people that can. But you're here because of your technical skills. So.
Okay, and Johan was there because of the
Johan was there
champagne.
because of the champagne.
Okay.
Exactly.
It's your testicle skills,
Your
Matt.
testicle skills and your skill in manipulating testicles. Yes. Sorry. So you have a question?
Yes.
Come on, Mr.
Without
Jolly.
further ado, here we go then, Daniel. How did you get into stand-up comedy? Question 1.
What actually happened was, I
So,
I think everybody's been thinking maybe I could do that or maybe I should never do that. But when I was like, I don't know, 16, 17, maybe 14, 13, something like that, teenager, I saw the first stand-up comedy show I ever saw, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. I was like, that would be fun to do, and then I forgot all about that I wanted to do it. Mm-hmm. But in and out of years, I was playing music, and I was playing at some theater and stuff like that. And
oh yeah, I forgot you're a guitarist, aren't you, as well?
yeah,
You're an actor as well, sort of semi.
yeah, I've done a couple of. Well, they were actually big movies, but the parts were small, as you say.
Really? Which ones? Which ones have you been? Are you going to be asking these questions later, or should I? Because I'm now fascinated.
No, it's okay. I did the bigger one was a Danish director called Niels Malmros.
Yeah.
He did a what was it called in English? The movie was called Knowing the Truth, I think.
Okay.
Which was about a big doctor scandal in the some like 40s, or 30s, or 60s, or something like that.
Yeah, I vaguely
About
remember.
a contrast injections stuff thingy they used for X-rays,
Okay.
and it turned out that it killed people like years later.
Shit.
I was the first. I played the first guy who got killed of it.
The guinea pig.
So you died.
Yeah, more or less. I die like 6 minutes in.
Fuck.
Yeah, but I'm in the first scene.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. I am the opening act.
Scene 1.
Exactly.
As the opening act, you died.
Yeah. And we went to the premiere, and after 6 minutes, like, oh, that's good. I'm out.
You left him went down the pub.
You'll find me at the bar. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
The autographs as you're walking out.
Exactly. I'll receive my roses now. But I did that in and out, and then all of a sudden, I was doing
Did this establish a pattern for you? I mean, did you then go into your next film and you were killed in that one as well, or is this, or are you just not too sort of teenage female-ish?
No, I went into another movie and killed the movie.
Oh,
And it never came out.
Dots of death.
No, it didn't really. Well, I just had some. It gave me a couple of auditions and stuff like that.
okay.
The thing was, when I was 14, I was probably like 6'2" at that
You
point.
at 14.
I was so I grew so fast.
How old are you now, Daniel? Sorry,
I am 30. I turned 35 in a couple of months. And
I mean, you're absolutely. How tall are you? You're about 6'4", aren't you?
6'6".
6'6".
Yeah,
Wow.
198.
I didn't actually meet Daniel the other day, but he was actually seated, and obviously, the first time I saw you stand up, I said, "You're a hell of a beast."
Yeah, I can tell you, I hit my head on the doors and everything all the time. Actually, I'm to those of the listeners, I am in this office with Matthew every day.
Yes.
And there's a thing in our kitchen out, and when we moved in, I was like, I'm gonna hit my head on this, and then we stood there talking about it. I was like, no, Matthew, you're going to hit your head on this. It's that low.
Exactly.
And it took exactly 40 minutes. And I could hear Matthew going, gunk.
It's effing and blinding. For the listeners that don't know me and haven't seen me, I am the size of Gimli. I look not unlike him as well. If you put some chainmail on me.
It's what's inside that matters.
It's what's inside the dwarf that matters.
It's called food.
Got food and ale. In my case, mainly food. Yes. Actually, no, mainly ale. Okay. Anyway, enough about me. This is about Daniel.
So what happened was I joined a band that was a comedy band because they, you know, one of those gigs you get. Well, maybe you do, maybe you don't. But one of the gigs you get were like, oh, you play the guitar? We're missing a bass player. So I got into that. But they had some really funny songs, and the band was called Man and the Meat Mincers.
Sorry, Matt, don't do that when I've just taken a sip of beer, otherwise it's going to end up.
Well, I didn't name the band. I'm just quoting.
Just auditioned.
So one more time for the listeners. It was called
Man and the Meat Mincers, and the reason was that the lead singer was called Casper Mann. That was his name, and we were the Meat Mincers. And then me and the guitar player thought it would be really funny to throw out the lead singer and still call it Man and the Meat Singer, Meat Mincers, and the Meat Mincers. And so we just did it for fun. I don't know, but then all of a sudden we actually realized we wanted to do more. Me and the guitar player. So we started a band, just like a 2-man band called Ass Howls.
Sorry.
Yeah, Ass Howls.
as in howling asses.
Yeah. We didn't know where we wanted to go
I was
with
going
it.
to say, was this the direct Danish translation of a fart?
I don't know. I think we tried to look at what kind of logo would be fun to have. And then the name came. Like, how funny would it be to have an ass howling? So we did that, and we did a couple of open mics, and I just realized, that stand-up thing is still a thing. And I started writing a little bit of stand-up on the side, and I went down one night to an open mic, and I talked to the guy who was hosting it 2 weeks before. And I went down just to have a look because I found it really interesting. Yeah. And the host was there, and he goes, "Hey, Daniel, how you doing? You want to go on stage?" I'm like, "Fuck no!" I was at home writing, and now I have to look at people doing it so I can like find some kind of threat into
transformation, isn't it?
Yeah. But then the first two that got on stage sucked so badly, and I had 2 like really strong beers, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm up." And how arrogant of me! But after I walked off stage, I knew. This is what I'm going to be in life.
Cool.
Yeah. I was ready to quit my job right away. It didn't matter about the money. It didn't matter about anything. This is what I wanted to do.
That's been a feeture of our lives ever since, really. It's not about the money. It's about doing stuff that we
It's all about
enjoy,
the dum-dum.
That is exactly what it's about. Indeed.
Right. How do you come up with your material, Daniel? How do you...
Oh, it's the hardest question ever.
Obviously, you're very creative. Obviously, you've just... telling us.
No, he's not that creative. I share an office with him. Jesus Christ, it's hard work.
I come up with an idea, I bounce it off with Matthew, and then I edit it.
And then he has an idea.
The washing up, you said to me, Mattski.
So
that was my day yesterday.
So basically, what I usually it's just about when you start thinking in a certain way. You start thinking, could this be funny? Then you start looking for the right stuff. And it's all about just being in that mode. Yeah. Like right now I'm doing advertising as well. Yeah. And I cannot, in a certain moment, I have to like think twice, not in the spoken sense, but like I have to think 2 times. Yeah. I have to think, is this funny? Yeah. Is this situation good for advertising? But as long as you're in that mindset, that's how it comes up. Yeah. Instead of just like, and then actually trying and doing, and you know, if you have an idea, start writing.
Do you get inspired by looking at people in the street? You know.
Oh fuck yes. Yes.
Sort of spins things. Start ticking.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times a week my girlfriend goes, "You're staring."
Like get a pin number on when she's paying.
Yeah, whatever. Like you're staring. And I go, I know, I'm working. But I get that all the time from her, and I'm like, this is what I do, and I can just tell that people sometimes feel awkward, but that's part of the game, man.
Yeah. Okay.
And my average working day.
Yeah.
I can feel him looking at me all the time.
Getting inspired for his.
Yes, he says, "You're inspiring me." Yeah,
right. How do people react when you tell them what your job is?
I actually don't like that situation.
Why?
And I don't think I've ever been asked that question before, which is really interesting.
What do you do, Daniel?
No one's.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's
No, but the question of how people react when I say it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Right.
Yeah. What usually happens is, just like anybody else, I don't think what I do is very special.
Right.
I think it's just as special as anyone else. Like, I don't know, a doctor, surgeon, it's just as interesting. Well, that was high class work.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm a surgeon and a bit of a rocket scientist. Maybe I should be at CERN.
Yeah.
I'm
But what
spitting
usually
atoms.
happens is that people only want to talk about me,
Yeah.
and I don't like that. I want to talk about us. We're in a conversation.
Yeah.
I once met a guy who was designing like climbing walls.
Right.
Like he designed the walls
Okay.
and the difficulties, and I found that really interesting.
Yeah, of course.
But he was like, "Yeah, it's boring. Let's just talk about you," and that's what I get most of the time. A lot of the time, people are pretty cool about it, but
Is that just a part and parcel of the whole sort of you do stuff that I would like to do. I find comedy is something that I think most people, apart from Republicans, will find important in life. And so they identify very strongly with it.
I think it's interesting to people because it's something we see on TV.
Yeah.
People can relate to it, can't they?
Yeah, and everybody has to like, oh, so and also there's another thing that it turns up the expectations of who I am in real life.
Yeah.
So like, oh, I remember I did a football game once, like a really low Sunday league thing, and
What you played?
yeah,
Were you goalkeeper?
I used to be actually.
You won the goal. You won
No
the goal.
surprise.
Just don't even. Oh, that is such a horrible place in my mind, because years later after I stopped, like I met my coach, and he was like, "Why did you stop?" It's like, I don't know. It's just we weren't really winning and whatever. I felt bored, and he goes, "But you could have been like a world-class goalkeeper." Like, yeah, but now I'm old and fat and like just shut up, man.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you could have been one of the
contender.
yeah, you could have been one of the best. It's like, that's too late, man.
So you're telling me that now?
Yeah, you could have called my mom like a week later.
So getting back there, he's brilliant.
Yeah. But I think that what we were saying was talking about how
People react when,
Yes.
yeah.
when you tell them
That you could have been a world
Yeah.
class.
Oh, the expectations. I think the expectations get too high. That was the football game. So we were playing on the game when I'm on the football field. I'm a footballer, right? You know, we're playing football. And I was also a defender, and we tend to yell a lot and control people and stuff like that. And we came into the dressing room, and there's a couple of guys I never played with before, and I was like, oh, I have to go because I have a gig. And they go, what do you do? I'm a stand-up comedian. And one guy goes, wow, I didn't really think you were that funny on the field, because I was yelling. But as soon as I step over that line, it's game on. I'm telling you. Yeah. So I actually, some of the times the expectations are getting too high and stuff like that.
Do you get that thing where people go on then, tell us a fucking joke then, so make me laugh.
Sound like me, Matt.
Yeah, I think what happens then is I sort of cut people off and ignore them. And I'm like, okay, we're not going to have a conversation tonight.
You can do that with your height and presence, give them the look.
No, I usually just
Give them the evils.
yeah.
As we say down our way.
But I don't know. I do get that a lot, and I do. It's just difficult, like living up to that. It's like expecting a carpenter to just build stuff all the time. I don't get it. It's my job, and yes, of course, I like having fun and I like doing jokes, but I can't do every third sentence in a normal conversation. And if I was like a jokey guy all the time, I would have nothing. I would have nothing to talk about on stage, because then I was unlike you guys who are in the seats.
It's come naturally, hasn't it? So
Yeah.
It has to come.
I have like the best comedians are normal guys in life, because that's what we talk about, and then we start developing material that is really funny, and that's the reason. Like, we work on it, and that's the reason comedy costs money, because if we didn't work on it, it would just be a conversation.
Exactly, and I think that's the point. I mean, it's like with anything. Is sort of when people say, I mean, I work in the creative industries as well, and you say, this is the quote for what I'm going to do for you, And they're like, ooh, that's expensive. So,
Yeah.
yes, because I'm bloody good at it.
I practiced.
And I have practiced to be
That's
as good
all it
as
is.
I am.
I
You are
practiced.
paying
Experience.
for the years of
Yeah.
experience that has brought me to this point, so that you don't go to some person who's fresh out of college,
Yeah.
who's going to come up with something that isn't going to work.
True.
Because it's the latest thing rather than it's the thing that actually makes a difference.
Yeah.
Actually leads to my next question. How do you practice your material, Daniel?
Me, all the fucking time.
I actually do sometimes.
It does. This
I mean,
is true.
are you in a room, sort of locked away in front of a mirror, or do you record, or I'm just how it works for you, or how?
There's different ways. It has gotten quite different over the years. But usually, if I do like the well optimized practice, I write my material, print it out. Sorry, Greta Thunberg, but I do. But I do because then
she's a good girl.
But it was that's how it was when I started. It was like this works, and I can't really read on the screen, but I can put out my entire script. Like in here, we're in the office. We have a studio next door. I would put, and I did that because I did a TV gig a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I put all of my material on the table, and I just walk around saying it. I usually, what works for me is actually talking to a couch, imagining there's 3 people in it.
Really?
Yeah, and 3
Okay.
people I know, because then it gets authentic.
Right.
And so I would do that maybe 5 to 15 times until it sticks, and then I'll do an open mic, and I'll go back and edit and do another open mic, go back and edit, do that probably 100, 200 times.
Does your girlfriend? Do you ever practice in front of your girlfriend?
No.
Never.
No, never.
Trying to-
I talk to her about stuff if it's about women, or it's about something that she knows something about. So I just use her as any other friend. But I never practice in front of anyone, like practice. And also, my friends are all like, "Oh, are you doing an open mic? Can we come and watch you?" Like, no, you can't come and watch an open mic. I have enough pressure on me with random people. I can't. Like it's too much for me. You can come and watch the show, or you can come and watch me, like doing like the small, tiny changes that you would never realize I'm doing.
You need your own space to get your thoughts and
Yeah. And even like just the car ride from here to Odense or Aarhus, where I usually do my open mics, I'm just like, I just want to be alone. And then people usually, "Oh, can I drive with you?" No, you can't, because this is my office.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I get it. I totally
Exactly.
get it. I
Who
totally get
really
it.
makes you laugh, Daniel, and why? Who
Well,
sort of inspires
me and
you?
Matthew
Will
laugh.
Smith, after what's recently happened.
Well, that
We've
kind
discussed that quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go into that. We can do that privately. 'Cause I have an opinion, but Matt knows about that.
Yes.
Makes you laugh, if that's
It's a mood thing, right? I have a lot of friends that makes me laugh, and me and Matthew laugh a lot every day, which also makes the office space really
positive
cozy and
and
positive, and
it
fun.
is. It's
and
great. It is
like
awesome.
we usually take, like when we work for 2.5 hours, and we get up or we go to the couches and have like a loose talk. Yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
it is.
Well, that's a good podcast name.
Talk to the couch.
What do you want to talk to today? Tell us more about you.
Talk to the couch because the face isn't listening. Yeah.
But I have some, like Stuart Lee is absolutely favorite comedian. I think what Lee Evans has done is really, really impressive.
Big fan of mine. He lives actually from the set. Comes from. The
Is he a big fan of
He's a
yours?
big fan of yours, is he?
Bittericky boy.
You mean you're a big
Yeah.
fan of his?
I'm a big fan of his.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've actually seen him running. He's quite into fitness.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you see him on stage, he actually gives it all, and he gets through sweat so profusely
Okay, man.
that he gives it his all. But he used to be an amateur boxer. He could have been.
But I mean,
Yeah, that's
that's
true.
the thing.
If you read his book,
I haven't actually.
you can borrow it from me. It's amazing,
Yeah.
and it's an easy read as well.
Yeah.
That's important.
I'm just sitting here.
English.
I'm just sitting here trying to compute the idea of him actually running, because when you see him performing physically, the fact. I mean, how does he run? I mean, what does he look like?
Well,
when
at least he runs
runs?
away from all that
Very
sweat.
small. He's a very, very small guy. And I've actually seen him
Yeah.
when I was with my friend. We were doing some landscape gardening. We were driving around some country lanes where I'm from in the UK, and he was fake coming towards us, and as our eyes lit up, he
course.
realised that we recognised who he was.
Yeah.
But he's, very, very dedicated. And
Was it the Ministry of, Ministry of Silly Runs?
He's not performing anymore.
No,
he's retired. His wife
retired,
was on, got to him, or his wife said it was all too much.
No, he went out. He just went like, all of our lives since we were, because they've been together since they were like 17.
Right.
And he goes, all of our lives has been about me. Now it's her time. And he just stopped.
Look at
Giving
you,
me the
Jolly,
fucking
trying
chills.
to blame his wife when he was actually being a
That's what
decent
he said.
human being.
He's still writing material, though, I think, isn't he, for others? Or is it
quite
completely
probably.
stopped?
I don't think he needs to work.
No,
Probably not.
Those O2 arena tours
oh,
and whatever.
huge.
That's true.
right.
Yeah. I think he did 147 of them.
What?
Yeah. He toured Australia and England and some of Canada, I think. It's
Oh,
I think he actually holds a record. I think you're right, Daniel. There's some
Is that
record
right?
that he holds for the amount of gigs and the
Exactly.
amount of people that he's...
And what I really like is that no one in Denmark has any idea who he is.
Yeah. I think I saw what might have been one of his first televised appearances, and I'm pretty sure it was on Channel 4, and it was. I remember almost sort of expiring with laughter at it, because the whole thing was about him coming onto stage with a microphone lead that was too short.
Yep.
And the fight that he was having for the whole thing, and he'd just come up and he'd walk to the front, and he'd think he'd just got it right, and he'd walk straight to the front of the stage, and he'd just bring the microphone up to say a word, doink, and it'd get whipped out of his hand. Yeah. It was superb physical comedy.
Exactly.
Absolutely brilliant.
And that's how he started, which is really interesting that he actually managed to go into stand-up comedy after that.
Yeah, true.
Because it's so different.
Yeah, very
like
yes,
writing a
of
joke
course.
and doing like what his was as close to slapstick as you
Yeah,
get.
yeah,
right?
totally. Yeah.
But it was, he was so interesting.
Yeah. He's
But
done films. He's a very good actor, isn't he? He's been in some Hollywood movies, and
He was in
probably
that-
Canary was one.
Was he in
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
Oh,
He-
yeah, that's true. He was,
Isn't he the
yeah.
one who gets caught by a fish hook in the ear?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was making it. He was a crippled.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
And the only reason he can do that because he's such a perfectionist.
Yeah.
But but there's a lot of other comedians that inspire me as well.
He was in The Fifth Elephant, was he?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was he? What was he in that?
He was some sort of I can't remember, some sort of sailor or comedy sailor.
A comedy.
He was dressed up as a
Comedy
sailor.
sailor,
He was dressed up as a
was.
sailor. He was dressed up as a sailor.
Okay.
And he was a bit of a sort of a he was a sort of a funny guy. But he had a big role in it actually.
Wow.
Bloody hell, okay, I need to
But there's a lot of comedians.
I need to look that up. Hold on. You carry on. I'm gonna do.
I think also there you need to look at America as well. Like Bill Burr, Ali Wong makes me laugh so hard. She's so fucking funny.
Okay.
I think Louis C.K. is really good. Actually, some of the Bill Cosby stuff is really nice as well.
Yeah.
Like it's just so.
Easy, isn't it? Would you say
What Bill Cosby has done, some of the jokes he's done, I'm beyond words how he manages to describe something, because he has so many jokes packed in, but they never seem like a joke, and that sounds like that sounds like something that's really bad. But there's so many people that are really inspiring, and there's a reason why they're at the top. I think, but there's different genres that are really interesting to look at, and I like actually seeing Jim Gaffigan has something as well, which is really nice. But you can also you can pick up something. Pete Holmes is really funny as well. There's a lot of people that make me laugh, but there's also a lot of people that makes me get inspired.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're geniuses, aren't they? They really are. They're sort of
I think
unique
it's
people, unique.
yeah. But then we're talking like people like Dave Chappelle and stuff like that. Like he's a straight up like he punches out material like no one else. But I think when push comes to shove, it's just hard work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
So
work that
there's-
goes behind the scenes to what
Yeah.
you've actually seen the actual performance.
Yeah.
Hey, with the amount of effort that you put into it and
Yeah.
heartache.
I have a question. Is that all the beer?
We have more.
I have many questions.
No. It's just
But you know it. This is your office. You know where the beer is.
I just wondered if he'd supplied more beer or if it was just the one.
Oh, sorry. No, you can have the rest of this. Do you want to take
No.
that?
We go. No.
That's right. It's nice and cold.
Okay, I'll take it. Fuck it.
Right. Okay. You ready for the next question?
Mm-hmm.
What is the most memorable moment in your career so far? The first thing that springs to your mind.
Oh,
I know it's Friday and it's been a long week.
It's got to be meeting me.
I don't know, man. That was part of my private life.
Mixing the two Gigglefixes.
Yeah. Well, today obviously, but.
Oh, thank you. How are you?
What's the most memorable? I've done a lot of funny things. I've done a lot of weird. Well, there's goods and there's bads. I don't know, man. I don't know. Early days, I did a 3,300 gig, way before I was ready to do that.
A what? In front of 3,300 people?
Yeah.
Shit, where was that?
Did you have a few beers before?
No, I never drink before my show.
Where was that? Where were you playing?
It was an open air thing in Horsens. There was a comedy night, and I just texted the other one, which like really big comedians, and that's a good thing about like Facebook. You just write to them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can I do an 8-minute spot? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And I was not ready. I got a 2-star review and everything. But
you learn from it.
Learning. I was going to say.
oh, you're kidding me?
Push to the deep end. You learn from it.
Yeah. The only thing I remember from that was that I've been on that stage as an MC.
Okay.
Later on, like a couple of years ago, actually.
Right.
And I was just like, yeah, which is weird. I've done tons of shit. I've performed for 2 people. I've performed for 15, 1,600, 2,000.
Yeah.
What's the optimal audience size for you? What sort of?
I like something in between 120 and 200.
Okay.
I like that. That's a good large crowd, which is still intimate.
Yeah. And
So actually, in between 80 and 200.
And with your material, are you the sort of guy that likes comebacks? Do you like interaction with the crowd, or
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
And I've been working a lot on actually making it nice for the audience as well.
Yeah.
Because I think stand-up has a really bad rep on that. Usually people go, oh, what's your name? Oh, my name is Lonnie. Oh, you're a hooker, something like that. I never liked that. Yeah. So I actually I did for years and years and years, instead of asking what people do for a living, which you've heard millions of times. I actually started asking people, what do you do in your spare time?
Yeah.
Because you didn't have any prepared jokes for that.
Sure.
So you had to be clever.
Yeah.
You had to be good. And I did something on a trombone once that I remember that people still like come up to me. You remember that time we did that thing? I was like, yeah, it was just like coming off of my head. But I think that's really important to have that connection. And I think that's what makes stand up. Yeah.
Actually, leads to my next question. How do you deal with hecklers? You know, people that really try to put you down.
It isn't really that much.
On the environment, or depends on the crowd.
It isn't really happening that much anymore.
Right.
Which is weird. But back in the days, man, 10 years ago, are you kidding me? It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
You enjoy it. You enjoy it. Relish.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
If anybody yells something, let's say there's 100 people in there, including me, it's 1 against 99.
Yeah.
Like, he's lost the fight from the beginning of opening his mouth, unless the comedian falls for. I know there's a female Danish comedian who at one point said something on stage like, women can do anything just as good as men, and she goes, name one thing that women can't do as well as men, and a guy in the crowd goes, stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And then you just have to go like, wow, that was really funny. How am I gonna get? I can't top that.
No.
But that was not a true heckle. It's like she put it out, and if I was a bit in there, I would have. That's just funny.
Yes.
Yeah. That's just funny because you're throwing the ball in the air and you're asking me to hit it.
Yes,
and
basically.
he fucking hit it
out of the park.
Yeah, exactly. That was a home run. But I actually don't enjoy it. But if people say something nice, I don't believe there's any reason to to go at them.
Yeah.
But if they're being idiots, I can be an idiot
Yeah,
back.
there's obviously there's a border, isn't there? If they cross over that sort of barrier and it becomes personal, they try and make it personal, then you have to put them in.
Yeah, well, if they try to make it personal, I'll make it personal.
Yeah.
Sure.
They set the tone.
Yeah.
That's how I
You
feel.
finish it, and you finish
Yeah.
I'll fucking finish this.
outside, mate.
Insight, mate. Let's finish it in here. But you can always make people hate a person.
Sure.
That's
Have you
easy.
ever died on stage?
Oh, fuck yes.
Like people don't understand your material, appreciate your act.
Kidding
I mean,
Yes. Yes.
must be a horrible.
It looks like a very...
How did you have?
Oh, I remember 2 gigs so well. Sadly, I remember them so well.
Right.
Actually 3. But the third one,
Yeah.
I was experienced enough to just walk off stage. 3 minutes in, I was
You
just
just
like,
gave up. You said,
I
"That's
just
it, I'm
like,
done."
you know what? I don't have it today. It's my fault, and I just walked off. They just didn't like me.
You're on live TV. You can't.
Yeah. Like, this is going to be the best show. Cut to advertising. But my very first performance went really well because I was introduced in a good way. And they were like, the next comedian or whoever is just someone who just came up to me and he's never performed before. So that went well. My second, so bad. My second performance was so silent and I did the same material. I died.
It just, as you say,
Can you analyze why that happens? Is it the crowd? Is it you? Is it a combination of that? Is it?
It's never really the crowd.
The brain freeze or something happens within that sort of amplifies very rapidly in sort of panic stations or I don't know.
I think it's an evolutionary thing that
Okay.
if I'm unsafe and I feel like you can usually see it on new comedians, they're like trapped in a corner, just like a cat outside.
You cringe, don't you, for them probably?
Yeah, but you can tell right away. So, and I've seen young comedians having really great jokes, but just dying because it's not a safe space for the audience. Yeah. So it's never really the audience. My third time as well, I died like so badly. I remember those 2 so well.
Okay, so out of your first 3 gigs, 2 were
silence.
dire.
Silence.
So is it quite fortuitous then that the first gig actually went off really well? Because would you have gone for a third gig if the first 2 had been absolutely catastrophic?
I think I would.
Yeah.
I'd say
Yours. I mean, is that a feature of comedians in your view that they are masochists?
But it's an addiction.
Okay.
Like there's an endorphin, some kind of
Yeah,
thing
but
you're chasing, and
yeah, okay. I'm just thinking if you keep on dying on your ass though.
yeah. But trust me, I've seen people do that for years and years and years, and then turn out as great comedians. But there's just something that inside of you that goes, I have to do this.
But is that all part of sort of honing the art?
learning
basically.
process of coming.
That's
In
what
the
makes
beginning,
you
though, you
into
have
it.
nothing to lose. That's the thing,
True
right?
enough, yeah.
And now, when I'm at a stage where you like new comedians, when they see me, they're like, "Holy shit, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm on an open mic just like you. Like I feel just as unsafe as you." Like
I'm vulnerable. Just
yeah, exactly. And they go like, "Oh, I'm gonna go in and watch your set." I'm like, "Don't, man! You're gonna get so disappointed."
I'm working on it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not finished. I'm still baking it.
well, watch me talk to the sofa first.
Exactly. Oh fuck, that's even more horrible. Stumbling on words and everything.
Right. What's the funniest joke you've ever heard, Daniel?
Oh, ow. Jeez.
Oh,
Putting you on the spot here.
Quiet.
there is. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna tease it because it's quite long.
Translate into,
We've done 40 minutes already.
Wow. Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll do it.
Go on then. Go on.
So, I just need to think because there's a.
To translate it from Danish to English.
No, I can do it in English. So there's there's a postman delivering a package. Oh fuck it, no. He's delivering a package. So he's walking up to the house and he knocks on the door and no one opens. So he knocks harder, and all of a sudden the door opens and it's a man with a head that's a big, huge orange.
Right.
He goes, "Oh, hello, sir. I have a package for you." And he goes, "Oh, thank you very much." And the postman walks off, and just as he's about to close the door, the postman turns around and says, "Listen, I have to ask you. That big orange you have as a head, what's that all about?" "Oh, well, one day I was digging in my garden, and I just all of a sudden I heard this metal sound, and there was no lamp, and I was rubbing on it, and a genie came out, and he said I had 3 wishes, and my first wish was that I wanted a beautiful wife that makes fresh bread to me every day, cooks amazing dinner. She's the best in bed you can ever imagine. She's beautiful, she's hot, she's everything, and she's always naked. And you can actually see her through the kitchen window." And the postman goes, "Oh yeah, wow, she is beautiful, and that bread just smells amazing." and the postman goes, "So what about your second wish?" "Well, I wish for so much money that I never had to work again. And you can see I have a nice house, I have a nice car, I'm here in my robes, and I never have to work again, which is really nice." He goes, "Oh, that makes sense, because I don't like working. I'm just a postman delivering, and today's really rainy, and it's horrible." And then the guy goes, "So my third wish, and this might have been where I go wrong, I wish for a giant orange as a head."
He's good.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes. Well,
You know what you can do with that?
You do, that's right.
That's a great joke. You know what you can do with that joke? If people don't laugh at that joke, you and I have nothing in common.
It's pretty there, Daniel. I was picturing it every step. You really described it well. I was there.
That's good.
I was the postman,
Yeah.
but that's the beauty of those kind of jokes, though, is that you're expecting there to be some
sort
kind
of
of
connection,
like,
yeah.
okay, how? And I was sitting there. I was going. It's like, what is it that he's going to say that's going to be misinterpreted as an orange head? And it's no, that was it. He asked straight out, flat out for an
I
orange.
wouldn't be drinking either. That's funny.
Now, this might be where I got it wrong. I asked for a giant orange head. Love it. Love it. Have you got any more questions?
Yeah, I have a few more if I may.
Oh, God, all right, okay. Then I'm going to go and get a beer out of the fridge. Does anyone else want a beer?
I could do half one.
You could have one? There you go. Okay.
You know what? I'm the only one who's mobile. We can actually keep recording.
Okay, all right, yeah. I am. That's true. You do have the facility. I was asking.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the...
Oi, Jolly. I was asking all of us, mate, if we wanted one. It's just because I can't see on the other side of the screens. Probably, yes.
Do you want me to do a tour of the office?
Actually, I mean, what you could do, actually, Jolly, if you on your side, if you press the button, you can lower the
But it's up there because of the mic.
Ah, okay, then leave it there then, because there is a technical reason for the layout. So, what? No, I just, frighteningly enough, I actually wanted to look at you, but there
You're
you
welcome.
go. Thank you, Daniel. You're a scholar and a gentleman.
Good health, sir.
Okay, you're expecting to share this one, are you?
Yeah, why not?
You don't know me very well.
No, I have to drive. I'll share with somebody.
Okay, you can share with me. Yeah, it's fine.
I'm no dripping.
Thanks, man.
I hope you can hear that, lovely listeners. Sorry, I'll just pull my zipper up now. Right then, next question.
On the floor again. How many questions do you have, just out of interest?
Another 5 or 7 questions.
It's all good.
Another 5 or 7. Okay.
It's all good.
Something like that.
As long as we don't have to, we'll get back to you next week.
Yes, exactly.
Part 2.
Yeah.
Were you the classroom joker?
Yep.
You were.
Yep.
So
I'm
from
not
what
surprised.
sort of age did you sort of realise that you were entertaining
think
Your
second
classmates.
to third grade. Actually, in 8th grade, all the year I was I was sat by myself
Disrupted.
because no matter who I sat next to, they couldn't concentrate because they were laughing too hard. So all throughout 8th grade, I was sitting at my own desk, all the way like on the blackboard.
Okay.
And the teacher she was teaching behind me, so I think that's what started my neck pain.
You sure?
But actually, all of that year, I wasn't allowed sitting next to anyone.
Okay.
I learned a lot that year.
You're the only one in the
That
class.
was the
sitting
one
on
year
their
you
own.
learned,
You're
was
the
it?
only pupil sitting on their own because of your.
Yeah, everybody was 2 and 2, and then was me by myself.
Wow.
And there was a lot of other really funny guys in the class as well, but
Interesting. Yeah.
I was just the only one that was
Were
disrupted.
you one of like 20, 30
It
students?
was like
in-
25 or something like that. Yeah,
Impressive.
So where are you from in Denmark?
I'm from
Originally.
a tiny town, same size as this, where we're in Kolding.
Yeah.
It's called Horsens.
Okay.
Like 60,000 in the center and 100,000 in the entire.
Outskirts,
Yeah.
If you were a comedian, what job would you do?
I would do advertising, which I also do. Actually, I've been wondering if I was just to get like what most people call a regular job, I would be in a warehouse with a pair of headphones,
Yeah.
just stocking shelves or pallets or whatever they wanted me to be. I could do that. I was in the army for 3 years as a sergeant, but I could never go back to that.
Right.
But yeah, advertising was actually a dream,
Yeah.
a bigger dream for years and years than being
Yeah.
a comedian. I think there's just something about making people feel something. I like that's also why I like cooking.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's something about like it's like waking people up in a good way or something like I don't know. There's just something about it. There's just something about it.
Yeah.
It's good that you're into advertising because you can self-promote your gigs and you can brand yourself, or
I can't.
you can't do actually. brand yourself.
That's the exact reason why advertising companies are needed. You cannot brand yourself,
That's where Mattski comes in. He's very good, I know that.
but we help each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's actually like we've been talking about like changing names of companies
Yep.
and like that's actually what we use each other for. You have an idea and then the other one goes, "Are you kidding me? This is how you're supposed to do," and then you go, "Oh yeah." So it's really really difficult treating yourself as a client.
Sure. Yeah.
Some people can do it, of course.
Yeah.
But the reason why advertising companies exist is because it's almost impossible to see your
Profile,
company
yeah.
or anything
Yeah.
from the outside because
Sure.
you're on the inside.
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Next question. Have you ever been the best man at a wedding?
Nope. Or have I?
Do you want
No, I
to be?
Question.
I haven't. My best friend has not.
Sebastian.
Jesus Christ. Oh, okay,
He-
good.
he hasn't-
Go
he
down
hasn't
that
gotten
avenue.
down
Are
on-
we good? Yeah.
All right. What's the best thing about your job, and what's the worst thing about your job? So there's two questions in one there. The best thing and the worst job about you.
I don't know why, but my brain tells me it's probably the same thing. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but it's probably the same thing. I think the worst thing, what I'm worried about right now, because I did a TV gig that's going to be aired on Saturday.
This has to be coming.
Oh, that's true.
This
Yeah,
Saturday
yeah.
or next Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And I'm worried if I get really famous and I cannot have like a private life when I'm out eating.
Yeah.
That's never been the reason why I'm doing it. And I can tell my girlfriend right now, it's like, you're really talking a lot about it. Yeah, because I've tried it once before, like 11 years ago, 12 years ago.
Where you became
Yeah, I
particularly
did a gig,
well
but
known.
that was back when TV was still like a thing that everybody watched.
Right.
The best thing, but it's the same thing. When you're famous, you get, well, famous, I've never been famous, but you get opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah. The doors open.
Yeah, exactly.
Opportunities.
And I think, you know what's actually, this is what I tell everybody, that's the best thing about what I do. every single night I get the amount of sleep that my body needs. There's no alarm clock. And that is the key for me to happiness. And I can only do that because I am, self-employed, and most of my gigs are at night.
Sure.
That is the best thing. I get my sleep every single night.
It's important.
You lucky bastard.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about that, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
So this Saturday, if anyone's in Denmark and listened to this before, what's channel and what time? And
It's TV2. I think it's at 8 on Saturday.
yeah,
Tomorrow.
It might be. I think it's on
Because this is not going to go out before.
I think it's online. It's online tomorrow, and
Okay.
it's going to be aired next Saturday.
Okay. So the chances are that you'll listen to this afterwards. So what you will now need to do is go back in time
Yeah.
and watch TV2 in Denmark
Yeah.
for the gig, and also speak Danish, which
Chances
will
are
help.
that you are 2 years ahead from now, because this podcast only comes out every 2 years.
Exactly.
And you'll just like the episode that you just listened to, and you're gonna let me listen to the previous one.
you need to get your finger out with this one, right?
Yeah.
You've
Jesus
got a real
Christ.
star on the show.
Yeah.
No pressure,
But
alright.
but me folks are coming over, and I've got to entertain them. Bloody hell, son.
Do it when
Give us
they're
a break.
asleep.
Why don't you invite them in? Invite your dad in to talk like what was Mattski's life when he was young. And
Oh God! No,
have him.
the very good reason why I don't want to invite them in.
I would listen
Would you?
to it.
Would you like to have your parents to talk about you?
Well, both of mine are dead, so that's pretty impossible.
Oh,
isn't
actually,
it?
yeah. That was a really
So,
subtle
yes,
job, Matt.
I would.
Well done, Matt.
If you can get
did
my
just
parents
bury his
back.
father. Good job, sunshine.
If you can get both of my parents back, I would join you for an episode.
They might be a bit smelly.
Oh, they were.
Is there anything you won't joke about?
Nope.
So you're quite open to
Actually, I like joking about things that people don't like.
find uncomfortable, or
Oh, yes.
you like to push
Oh,
the
fuck
boundaries?
yes. I also like saying a sentence that's actually not bad,
Yeah.
but makes people think about thought
Right.
and then go, what are you guys thinking about? Yes, I love it. And I think that's what comedy is supposed to do. I think that is the free space of course, you can't go out and say, I think rape is a good thing, because that's not a joke.
Yeah.
You can say, I think rape is a good thing because of this and this and this, but you have to have really good jokes.
Yeah.
The deeper you dig, the better the jokes.
Yeah.
And that's where I think comedy gets interesting.
You've done your homework and you.
Whose phone is ringing?
That's just mine.
Pizza's ready.
Sorry.
It's Walt. You've got an order to pick up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the people outside wanting signatures.
Not yet, luckily.
What do you think of Ricky Gervais? As you know, he's quite out there, isn't he? He sort of doesn't hold back. Do you think his material is? I think I'm a big fan of him personally. I think he's a genius.
I've watched everything he did. The thing is, what he is really lucky about is that when he started out, he had nothing to lose, and he kept doing whatever he did like that, and I envy him for that. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with. There's a lot of, because he was not an experienced comedian, he did a lot of easy jokes and stuff like that. But he admitted it was like, yeah, but I did the easy jokes. But I'm really like one of my favorite things he did is, well, this was actually, I told you about this the other day, because it was both advertising and it was comedy. So at Dave's comedy festival in Leicester, I think, or maybe it was in Edinburgh, I don't know. He booked he booked a huge banner and hung it up in the city center, going Ricky Gervais Humans, whatever the show he did, sold out. And I just loved how he like, why are you doing that? Because I can.
Yes.
So even like, he spent the money just to tell people that the shows was sold out.
That he could afford to spend the money.
Yeah. It's just like, look what you missed out on. And I love that.
Actually, I think last year, I think it was a journalist said, "Oh, I think I've done some research. You're worth £90 million," and Ricky said, "Yeah, that's about right." So he's been so successful, isn't he? Obviously with The Office as well, and selling the rights to the US and.
Yeah. You know what's really funny about that is that Stephen Merchant is about just as rich,
Yes.
and no one's talking about
And
him.
nobody talks about it. Yes, exactly.
What's the latest thing he did on Netflix?
Afterlife.
Afterlife.
Fucking amazing.
I thought so.
Oh, I'm
you
getting
know what?
chills just talking about
Do you
it.
know what? Okay,
Oh.
I have to watch that because
Oh.
I have
Oh, look at that
not.
as well.
Yeah, me
seen
too.
it.
Oh, Jesus.
All over the place. It's
Oh.
amazing.
It's
Some of the
seriously that
best.
good.
He
Yeah.
wrote it, directed it.
It's so good.
So easy to watch and follow, isn't it? It's so
Okay.
Well, it's touching. It's
Simple,
funny.
but
It's genuine.
emotional.
It's wow.
It's a real journey, isn't it? A real emotional journey. You really feel that you're in.
You know what the thing is about that show?
Yeah.
This is the only show where you and I can go so much on about it
Oh, God.
without overselling it.
Look at that, Matt.
Yeah.
Look.
Oh,
Me too.
hello, bloody
Yeah, yeah.
Laura.
It's so good.
For the listeners at home, I am getting a man showing me his arm with hairs standing up. And it's very, very exciting from my
But let
perspective.
me suggest another show for you. It's
Oh.
a Norwegian show.
Right.
Actually, I can suggest two Norwegian shows.
Go ahead.
One of them is called Norsemen, which is absolutely so
That
great.
I have seen, yes.
And the other one is called Dag, D-A-G. It's about a couples therapist who believes in divorce. It's
Oh,
so
fantastic. So, what, so it is his advice to basically people should divorce
just
more?
move out.
Don't fight it. Be honest.
Yeah. And he doesn't want any other people in his own life. It's so good. I remember there's an opening scene where you like the camera is walking through the living room and the phone is ringing, but you can hear like some kind of noise, like something like that.
Yeah.
And the closer you get, it's a shower, and the phone keeps ringing and ringing and ringing. So he picks up the phone and the camera moves around and inside the curtain. And the other person in the other end of the phone is going, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm multitasking," and he's in the shower on a bike exercising.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
I'll give that a go.
but that's one of the shows I've watched more than once. I think I watched it 2 or 3 times. It's really good.
So Norwegian show.
You know who it is? The guy who with the Flugel or whatever.
Ah, the
Yeah.
from oh shit.
Yeah,
what's
that
it called?
sketch from NRK, the Danish whatever.
Camelorso.
Cameloso.
Cameloso.
That guy. He's the one. Yeah. Well, that guy kind of but
Okay.
Cheers, Daniel.
Cheers, man.
Nearly there. 2 more questions. And
Yeah.
done.
Then
It's
we'll
all
run
good.
You've got about 50 questions, haven't you? Mattski?
No, it's good. We'll save that for next week. the next.
Oh, you know what to find me.
He'd be too famous by then. Anyone want to speak to us? Any advice you would give to anyone thinking about getting into comedy?
Yep.
Daniel?
Get going.
Right.
Get going.
Get
Start.
stuck in.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
be
like
afraid.
it's just like swimming. Have to jump into the water to learn how to swim.
Yeah.
That's
Just do it.
Just do it.
As Nike would advertise.
Other brands are available.
We are open for offers. Gigglefix. Mattski and Chris.
Yeah. We are willing to have sponsorships.
You send
Absolutely.
your
Yes.
emails to stuff, that's double F, at gigglefix.com.
Yes,
There
it
you
did.
go. Lastly, why did the chicken cross the road?
Oh God. It didn't. It got killed halfway in.
To get to the other side, of course.
Okay. That's actually what I wondered. If I was, am I going to say that?
Concludes my my questions. Thank you, Daniel.
You're welcome. Thank you.
It's
for
been
having
great
me.
to have you on the show.
Yeah, sure. An hour went by
It
really
just
fast.
whizzed by, didn't it?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it, actually.
Me too.
Sincerely. It's been an eye-opener, and I've learned a lot about... I don't think I have the guts to go on stage and do what you do. Full admiration for all of you comedians.
I don't either.
He doesn't have any guts.
I'm telling you, every single time.
I've smelt his
last
farts, he has no
last
guts.
30 seconds before I walk on stage, I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, okay.
Every time.
But that's a good thing, though, as well, because you
Yeah.
you know, the adrenaline and you're preparing, and it's like any sort of professional sport, or
Yeah.
you have to have that adrenaline rush.
Yep.
Fight or is it flight or fight?
Is there a moment that you'd wish you'd been more of a musician than a
No,
comedian?
I can never go back to that.
Yeah.
There's no response from the audience. It's ridiculous. I know you can make people dance and you can do whatever, But just
I
that
disagree.
thing about
As a musician, I would disagree.
I know.
You get a vibe off an audience very, very definitely.
I know, but
it's a much more immediate and visceral response when you're a comedian. You can feel whether it's working or not straight away.
I think this is horrible to say, but there's some kind of control I enjoy in the room while being on stage. That was honesty.
So the sociopath of you enjoys the
Definitely.
fact that you can. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
I've got one for you, Daniel. My favourite joke of all time.
Yeah.
What do you call a gay dinosaur? Hang on. A Megasaurus.
Oh God Almighty!
I don't know if you can edit that one.
To become
That
better.
one, that is it. To be a better.
It's quite good actually. And the other one is, what do you call a blind dinosaur?
I don't know.
Do you think Thesaurus?
This is.
You see, that's the problem with my American accent is that wouldn't have worked in American.
No,
So
absolutely.
I'm never going to be able to figure that out.
No, and you're getting a bit of an inkling or a bit of a clue as to the origins of the Gigglefix concept, which was the whole thing about doing dad jokes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love dad jokes.
Yeah, yeah.
They're clever.
Just
Were you aware of
Sometimes.
Gigglefix before you met Mattski, or
Nope.
so?
with the brand is so
Don't forget
huge.
to give us a bit of a plug. It's rich and famous.
Yes,
I'll do
exactly. Next time you go up on stage, sponsored by Gigglefix.
They buy beer.
They got me a beer.
They bought me a beer and made me feel happy.
Oh, actually, I've got something for you to sort of say thank you very much on behalf of Mattski and myself at Gigglefix.
Oh,
I do have a little. Obviously, your time is valuable.
I didn't know anything.
Have
about
you
this.
a bar of plop?
What is it like a?
Which
Oh,
actually has to be served with a.
spunk.
So obviously the finest Danish plop and spunk of today.
Yeah.
And it's all in date. I was actually worried that
It's
the
all
plop
in
would actually
date.
melt in my bag actually because of the hot sun outside.
Have you ever seen it? It actually says plop made in Sweden. I love that. Oh, it's Swedish plop.
Yes,
Thanks, man.
Only the best plop comes from Sweden, you know. Yes. I'm not sure what accent that was supposed to be.
Actually, I sent a big batch of plop with the first lockdown to all my friends in the UK just to try and pick their humour up and get them through it, and they really appreciated it.
That's
And then they
good.
got people ringing him up saying, "Why are you sending me these bags of shit?" I was like, "Don't know. It's plop." Yeah.
Can you imagine at the airport they open up the thing and he goes, "Oh, so there's a guy with a note. Like, can you tell me what's in that?" You just do whatever with that.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what's in that? Yeah, it's filled with boxes of spunk and plop. All right, I'm gonna take that to my boss.
I think we need to escalate this one. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a spunk smuggler. Wasn't there some massive court case about sort of the like, I don't know, there was some kind of international smuggling of horse semen.
Wow.
And it was like, because it's
crazy expensive,
it's
right?
worth a bloody fortune.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. Makes
But
sense.
I just love the idea of there being like this international ring of spunk going around.
You know what I'm thinking is that when you smuggle like heroin, you have to go somewhere and somebody has to create it and somebody either has to steal it. But like somebody actually went to a farm and jacked off a horse to get the spunk illegally.
That's the point.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a bloody risky thing, because a frisky horse is not
kidding
something
me?
you want to be around. Really.
No, I'd rather smuggle drugs, man.
Up my own arse.
Take my chances with the heroin. That's
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
I'd be more worried smuggling horse semen in my ass. Like 9 months later.
I'm just thinking, if the guy,
In spare time, I smuggle plop.
yeah, a guy gets busted for smuggling horse semen up his ass, and then you're just like, how did you extract it again?
How did you figure out it was him? Look at his kids.
Are they in a stable condition?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
They go.
boom.
They go to the blacksmith every 4 weeks to get new shoes.
Why the long face? Yeah. Hey kids, why the long face?
Exhausted.
Nay! Scandinavian, nay!
Oh, well, that escalated quickly.
It's a great way to go out.
I mean, that is what happens when we get Plop out and give people semen on the show. When we get semen, spunk on the show. It's just when we spunk all over the
The
show.
only show that advertises Plop and Spunk.
Actually, we should reach out to Plop and Spunk. Say, please, we would like to be sponsored by Plop and Spunk.
We're reaching out to your Plop and your Spunk.
We would like to cover your spunk with Plop.
You know, the Spunk one is a Danish company. You
Yeah,
can
it is,
definitely
isn't it?
reach out to those.
It's actually licorice as well as in wine gummy flavour, I believe. Is that right, Daniel? There's two flavours. There's
I think there's more.
Is it more?
Salt. It's a salty
So-
spunk,
There's a
is there?
salty version.
Please accept that this sentence is coming out of my mouth, but
Yes,
it's been a
we- we-
while
just go ahead.
since I've had spunk.
In your mouth.
A while. Quite a while.
It's been a while since you've had spunk in your mouth.
I
Yeah.
compose myself. Right. Sorry, go on, Daniel. It's been a while since you've had some spunk.
Yeah. Plop, though.
Every morning, like clockwork.
It goes well with coffee.
I'll have a Plop with me coffee in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
morning. It's lovely. It's
8
gorgeous.
o'clock on the dot.
Right then, should we? We're over an hour now. Should we call it a day?
Sure. Let's talk advertising next time.
Yes, exactly. Let's do that on the next show. The next show is why we do advertising.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being on the show. It's
Back with the future.
Thanks, man.
Brilliant.
And
Thanks.
do you have any websites or anything or any places that you would like to plug on the show?
Why don't you go and find my TikTok channel called Lill TV, Lill TV, where I'm going to start doing some videos that are totally out of my comfort zone.
Excellent.
Brilliant. We like that.
Excellent. We like
We
that.
like out of comfort
And of
zone.
course, if you're following the show, please find us on all the W's, gigglefix.com. You can also find us on Facebook. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us pretty much everywhere. Just look for Gigglefix and like us, share us, get people talking about this because we're tired of talking about ourselves. Basically.
No, we're not.
Thank you very much. See you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.